So today we're going through the poem Leopard by Anonymous. It's actually quite a short poem, but we're going to get quite deep into the analysis. Leopard. Gentle hunter, his tail plays on the ground while he crushes the skull. Beautiful death, who puts on a spotted robe when he goes to his victim. Playful killer, whose loving embrace splits the antelope's heart. So, this is a poem about a leopard, but it's not just about a leopard, but it's about his hunting style and his hunting abilities. But mostly it's about what the leopard does when he hunts. So the poem is quite simple. It's got 3 stanzas, and each stanza follows a very similar structure. So let's look at the first lines of each of these stanzas. Gentle hunter, beautiful death, playful killer. Here, all 3 of the first lines are juxtapositions. So a juxtaposition is essentially when you have 2 words that are in contrast and they're put right next to each other for a kind of special effect. So gentle hunter. If we think about it, it doesn't make sense. How can a hunter be gentle? A hunter is meant to kill. How can death be beautiful? Death is the loss of life, and beauty is life. A playful killer. How can a killer be playful? Playful means not serious, but the act of killing is very serious. So you have to think, why would the poet want to put these contradicting words together? In each of these second lines, if we look at them by itself, his tail plays on the ground, who puts on a spotted robe, whose loving embrace. These are all statements of playfulness, of whimsy, of beauty, of love. It has nothing to do with killing. And we can see that in each of these lines, the author has personified the leopard's actions. Why has the poet chosen to do this? His tail plays on the ground. It gives the leopard a bit of a human side to it. Humans, we don't actually know if leopards feel beauty and playfulness and not seriousness. So the poet uses this kind of personification to bring that sort of frivolousness to the leopard's actions, right? His tail plays on the ground, who puts on a spotted robe, whose loving embrace. The poet actually gives the leopard that personality through the use of personification. Let's look at the third line. All of these are violent, and it relates to the actual action of killing. While he crushes the skull, when he goes to his victim, splits the antelope's heart. All of this describes the act of killing. The imagery helps us to really visualize the violent act of killing that the leopard does. So let's talk about some themes that we have encountered in this poem. The first is contradiction. How can something so violent be so beautiful? How can something so beautiful be violent? It doesn't make sense. Yet what the author is trying to tell us, this brings us to our second theme, is that there's a concept of duality or an inseparability between beauty and violence. And the reason why the poet has done this is that it doesn't just relate to leopards or what the leopard does when it's hunting, but it's a reflection on all living beings, including human beings. Human beings are capable of some of the most beautiful things that we can think of: generosity, benevolence, kindness. Yet humans are also capable of violent acts of destruction that you and I can never, ever even fathom. And so the poet wants to convey this inseparability of extremes that exist in living things, which brings us to the third point: complexity. This is complex, right? It reminds us that as living beings, nothing is as it seems. Nothing is just beauty, or nothing is just violence. Everything is interconnected with each other in a sense of complexity. So we'll just talk about that for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope this poem lets you think about things in greater depth. So thank you, and we'll see you at another lesson.